Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony, live stream and recording will begin in 2 minutes. Please be seated and place your phones or devices on silent. Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the director and staff, we would like to cordially welcome you to the Bluegrass Youth Challenge Academy's 48th graduating class ceremony. Please rise for the arrival of teachers, the arrival of Class 48 program graduates and cadre, the arrival of the official party, the presentation of the colors, the national anthem, and the invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem will be sung by Cadets Kimbrough and Cadet Mitchell.
Present arms. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order, arms, colors, post. Present, arms. Order, arms. Left face, forward march.
Ladies and gentlemen, the invocation will be given by Cadet Smith Khalil.
May we bow our heads. Heavenly Father, surround us that are graduating with your grace. Bless us with the hope so that we move into the future with eager and open hearts. Help us to put the knowledge, skills, and insights gained through our attendance here at Bluegrass Challenge Academy for the good of all mankind. Inspire us to believe in the goodness of life, even when faced with challenges and difficulties. As we commence with our lives, may we grow even more grateful and wise. Amen.
You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the director of the Bluegrass Youth Challenge Academy, Colonel Retired Dietrich D. L. Briscoe.
Cadets, on your feet. Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Same old stuff again.
Same old stuff again.
Marching down the avenue.
Marching down the avenue.
No more days and we are through.
No more days and we are through.
I am glad and so are you.
I am glad and so are you.
Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
Are we going home?
We are.
Sound off.
1, 2.
Sound off.
1, 2.
Break it on down now.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Be seated. What a way to start it off. Motivated, fired up, and knowing that it is our last day. To God be the glory. Good morning, Major General Lamberton, distinguished guests, community leaders, family and friends, but most important of all, the Bulldogs, the Blackhawks of the mighty Bluegrass Challenge Academy, class number 48. I am deeply honored, humble, and grateful to participate in this historic event. You know, today is special by just looking at these magnificent cadets in their military garb, razor sharp, carrying their national flags and academy guidon with military precision. Ladies and gentlemen, my task and purpose is quite simple today. First, to thank all of you for all the love and the support that you have given Bluegrass Nation over these past 22 weeks. Second, I also want to thank everyone who worked hard behind the scenes to make this graduation ceremony a world-class event for these cadets, because they earned it. Ladies and gentlemen, what makes Bluegrass Nation special is the cadet who decided to accept the challenge, to attend BCA and finish it. However, I know for a cadet to be successful, it must have a strong supporting cast. The supporting cast must be made up of teams, such as key leaders, cadre, staff, teachers, counselors, yes, our dining facility, who cooked us omelets this morning. That's a plus for us. Our recruiters, our mentors, families, and friends. And last but not least, our community supporters. Today, our team of teams have given these graduates a sense of hope, faith, love, and pride that they can do anything, and I mean anything, they want to do if they just dream, believe, and achieve. With hard work, determination, teamwork, they can do it all. We have challenged these cadets mentally, emotionally, physically, morally, to be a better me. And we also challenged them spiritually. We have provided them with the best academics, leadership and fellowship, life coping skills, citizenship, health and hygiene, physical fitness, service to the community, and job skills. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in giving the team of teams and Bluegrass Nation and yourself a round of applause. Thank you. I will now transition to, as the Kentucky 53rd Adjutant General of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Major General Hal Lamberton commands nearly 8,000 military members of the Kentucky Army and Air National Guard. He also oversees the statewide Department of Military Affairs, Kentucky Emergency Management, the Appalachia and Bluegrass Challenge Academies, and Bluegrass Station in Avon, Kentucky. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving Major General Lamberton a warm welcome.
Morning, everybody. What a terrific morning, and especially for our newest graduating Bluegrass Academy cadets. I'm sure that since you've been sort of indoctrinated to the military at this point, you know the word hua, right? So for everybody else out in the crowd, if you haven't heard that before, where Colonel Briscoe just asked you to join in another round of applause, I would ask that everybody give a big hua for our newest cadets. Hua! Hua! Okay, we can work on that a little bit. You know, the neat thing is really, as Colonel Briscoe mentioned, it really is about you this morning. This is your day, the other family members, the friends that we've got here, the cadre, the instructors, everybody was here for you. Everybody is here to make sure that you can get through the 23 weeks, as Colonel Briscoe just alluded to, of pushing you, of challenging you a little bit more so intellectually, physically, emotionally. And each one of you all in the cap and gown this morning, you know better than the majority of other folks who are here, not everybody can handle that. Not everybody did handle it for your particular class. Not everybody can do it. So quite simply, what I'm getting at is that not everybody can do what you've already done. So towards that end, and again, this is kind of redundant, if everybody will join me in another round of applause for our newest cadets. You can slap on your cast if need be. There is absolutely nobody that I know of who's achieved anything in life that didn't have some sort of an obstacle or an uphill climb or some sort of impediment that they had to go through. Whether it's the principal or Colonel Briscoe or Darnell, myself, everybody that I know who've achieved anything. And literally, these are business folks, doctors, lawyers, soldiers. They had some sort of an obstacle in front of them that they had to overcome. Just because you don't see it, don't believe it's not there. Everybody has had to overcome something. In my world, in my and Colonel Briscoe's world, I think of 4 general officers by name, if anybody's familiar with it: Petraeus, Corelli, Casey, Abizade. Each one of those folks during the course of their career and fairly early on in their career, that they had obstacles that they thought, well, shoot, I'm going to get fired over this one, or this didn't go the way I intended it, but they stuck with it. It sounds kind of simple. My wife says I've made this our family motto, but fix it and move on. So each one of those gentlemen, they fixed the issue that confronted with them. And oh, by the way, all 4 of them retired as 4-star general officers. So I'd say it worked out fairly well for each one of them in pursuing it. I'd also offer, let's see, any 49ers fans in the room? Oh, shoot. Okay. I may have to change that, but I'm a 49ers fan, so we got at least one in the room. If any of y'all are tracking it this past football season, and they had the Mr. Irrelevant, who was their quarterback. Any of you all football fans, NFL fans? Okay, I heard 2 claps and a hooah. So Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, he was the last person chosen in his draft class. And you know, think about that. What does that send to your psyche, to your emotional well-being, that you had literally hundreds of folks chosen before you? Fortunately, you did get selected in the draft, but you were the very last person, thus the moniker Mr. Irrelevant, because most of those guys don't make it through training camp. They don't join the team rosters. They very rarely have a full career in the NFL, let alone any substantial success in it. But Brock Purdy, and some of you may be tracking, at least 2 of you who clapped a moment ago might be tracking, but he won every game that he started for the NFL San Francisco 49ers this past football season. He took them to the playoffs. He won each of the games before he got injured in the playoffs. This is the last person chosen in the NFL draft. This is the person who's going to forevermore be known as Mr. Irrelevant, no matter what level of success he has in his career or his lifetime. Tell me he didn't have to overcome something in that dynamic. Quite simply, and for the gentleman up here on stage with me, I am striving to point it out for each one of you. Not everybody starts out equally. Not everybody has the same advantages. Not everybody's got the family support, the support of friends, as each one of you all do for your graduation this morning. But everybody has had to overcome issues. I have, virtually everybody up here on stage has. It's just part of life. You've already started on a good track just simply by being able to graduate this academy, because as we pointed out, not everybody else has. So as I'm wrapping up here, I would just share with everybody that my takeaway for you is you've already got a level of success. So just keep building on it, keep pushing forward, and very much for whoever's been assigned or associated with you as a mentor, take advantage of that person. That person is a mentor to each one of you all individually of their own volition. They're not getting paid for it. They're doing it because they want to help you out and help you out beyond today's graduation. They're here for you as well as with everybody else in this room. So once again, congratulations. I salute each one of you all for what you've accomplished at this point, and keep driving on. Cool.
Hey, sir, I know you took time out of your busy schedule, that you wanted to be here, and I really appreciate that. I also know your passion of the Youth Challenge program. You're always sending me someone to make contact to help this program, and I truly appreciate that as well. So I would like to present you our coveted Bluegrass Challenge coin. It's hard to get these. So I'd like to present this to you on behalf of the cadets, the cadre, and the staff, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
So now that I've got this coin and I'm explicitly looking at all the black hats out there, I trust you're not going to drop me because I call you black hats. But I say that respectfully. I'm carrying this, so don't try to challenge me with it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Class 48 Student Body President, Cadet Abdullah.
Knock it out of the park.
As we close out of Class 48, we leave with new opportunities and the discipline and education needed for success. Standing here as Student Body Class President, I feel proud knowing my other 31 fellow cadets and I have maintained a mindset of perseverance and determination. With this mindset, we have come to the end of the Bluegrass Challenge Academy, but not the challenge. The real challenge is what lays outside of the academy, including things like drugs, academics, depression and anxiety, as well as the everyday struggles and peer pressure we face in the civilian world. I can honestly say I feel my fellow cadets and I have grown to gain confidence in our decision-making skills, as in the past we may not have always successfully made the right decisions. And this is one of many ways we've changed for the better. I would also like to say thank you for all of you parents, guardians, family, and friends for coming here today and never giving up on us. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the director of the Bluegrass Youth Challenge Academy, Colonel Briscoe, will now introduce our guest speaker.
Darnell Super Chef Ferguson is a celebrity chef, entrepreneur, and television host who believes that everyone can be an everyday superhero. He hosted the Food Network Super Chef Grub Match, the network's #1 show on Tuesday nights. Darnell is also a 4-time contestant on the Guy Fieri Tournament of Champions. And upon his victory over a legendary chef, Fieri told him, "You just pulled off the biggest upset in culinary history." Darnell has been featured on The Today Show and Live with Kelly and Ryan, as well as other national television programs. In 2021, he produced and hosted 6 episodes of TV cooking competition in partnership with Wave 3 News titled Cook That Ish, which aimed to help and inspired aspiring local Louisville chefs. Darnell also cooked for Team USA at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. His accolades speak volumes, but success hasn't always come easy for Darnell. Originally from Ohio, Darnell's love of cooking began in adolescence and continued as he graduated from Sullivan University in Kentucky with a degree in culinary arts. After taking a wrong turn along his journey, though, Darnell found himself on a self-destructive path that left him living out of his car, in and out of jail, and unemployed for nearly a year. Guided by faith, Darnell used that time to reflect on his past and to reassess his purpose, leading to a pivotal moment of clarity. He recalls someone talking about being a statistic and never recovering once you enter the system. And he did not want to be another statistic. Donnell knew the only way to get out of the system was to realign his focus and get serious about his talent and passion, which for him have always been cooking. Donnell teaches kids, communities, and those in need how cooking can be a positive and creative outlet through his newly established nonprofit, Super Chefs Academy, which expose inner city youth to the culinary arts. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving Donnell Super Chef Ferguson a warm welcome.
What's going on today, people? How y'all feeling? All right, yeah, loosen it up a little bit. So this is a celebration, by the way, just so we're all on the same page, okay? So I had the pleasure of, a little taller. So far, when I seen the boys earlier, it was two things they talked to me about. One was my shoes, and the other is my fanny pack. I'm bringing fanny packs back, people. If you're over 40, you remember when fanny packs was hot? They're on their way back. Get this over here. All right, here we go. So, all right, everybody want my height until you realize what it's like to be it. But I would say, no, I had a chance of meeting these boys at the mayor's prayer breakfast. I was the keynote speaker that day. And I remember, I don't want to bend down because I feel like the posture ain't right. I'm gonna just hold the mic. All right, here we go. This shows you, boys, I ain't gifted at this. You know what I'm saying? This is all from God, all right? But no, we had the chance to meet at the governor's prayer breakfast. And I remember after I found out what, Bluegrass Challenge Academy was doing, and I got to meet some of the boys. We got to talk. I remember talking in the room. See, let me tell you something. I done seen them about 4 or 5 times at the academy. Half of them sleep, half of them don't. No, I'm joking with you. They've been doing a great job. Our last 2 times, everybody's been awake the whole time. Ain't that right? So we've been able to build an amazing relationship. And I remember when I was at the governor's prayer breakfast, I remember saying, I see myself in so many of these boys. I remember being at the donut shop the other day, and this lady came up to me. She said, "Are you the super chef?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh my gosh." She said, "You think you can come talk to my son?" I was like, "What you want to talk to him about?" She's like, "Oh man, he's just going through it right now. He's not making good decisions. He got locked up the other day." I said, "How old is he?" He said, "He's 20. I said, "Wow." I said, "Okay." I said, "I was locked up like 8 times, right?" She's like, "You were?" I said, "Yeah." I was like, "I had a probation officer when I was elementary school, right?" She's like, "No." She's like, "I would have known none of that about you." Because for so long, people don't understand, I wasn't always who I was today. It was a process. And if you ask my mom, it was a long process. You ask the right person, you hear the process is longer. But I say that to say, these boys, and I've only had the pleasure of meeting them. I know girls come sometimes, but these boys, they're going to need you. They're going to need you in a way you can't even imagine. They're going to need you to remind them who they are in moments where they slip. They're going to need a team around them that understands that they are not some of the decisions they've made, that they have been working, they have been sacrificing. Let me tell you, when I come to the school and see how they act, how they respond, I wish I could send all of my kids here. All of them. The respect they show, the discipline, the consistency, and the cool thing about it is they're showing that while at the same time still being human. They're not being robots. When I talk to them, this is like they're just kids. They have so much potential. And one of the things I wanted to do when I was sitting down last night, I was like, how do I write a speech when I've been talking so much to them already? We've had so many talks. We talk about so much, our life, my life, their lives, childhood, parents, everything we've covered. So I'm like, how do you write a speech with someone you've been living life with so intimately? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to write it for the people in the audience. Because today is celebration. The same energy that these boys have received at different times for their falls and their mistakes, let's make sure today they hear the total opposite, 20 times as loud for all the things they've accomplished in the past 6 months of being in the academy. Because they deserve it. They need to be celebrated. They need to be loved. They know how much I love them. I tell them that all the time when we come in. You know, even in the middle of Derby, an extremely packed week, I wanted them to understand how much they matter to me. You know, and I want y'all to never, ever forget everything we've talked about. Because they're going to need you to see them as who they are a lot more than what they may be at the time. Because I had a lot of people, I give speeches. Actually, this is the first speech I've given in probably, when did I do Shawnee graduation? Was it 2-3 years ago? 2021. It's the first speech I've given in years. Because I stopped talking to grand audiences, and I like the one-on-one or 1-on-32 that I get with these boys right here. It's so much more impactful. We get so much more covered. But one thing I used to always tell people when I gave a speech is, we used to always talk about what makes a lion the king of the jungle. That was one of our topics we used to always cover. What makes a lion the king of the jungle? They're not the fastest, not the strongest. You know what I'm saying? They don't weigh the most, not the tallest. What makes them the king? They think they're the king. It's mentality. These boys are going to need their mentality reinforced over and over and over again. Because